Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good wherever it is, wherever you are, and whatever time it is. Welcome to the Angry Onion. AO here, week 7, 10, 17, 21, where we do a little news and views that just stink on most occasions. And we're pretty sure this week is going to stink even more. Why do we know it's going to stink? Because onions stink. And they stink so good. And I am an onion. I am the angry onion. Well, with no further ado, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about ground rules. So, our goal is to give a short, different side of some of the unique stories from the world of news, weather, sports, or something just crazy. Most of it will stink, but I guess what? I'm an onion and I stink. If you think it stinks, you can definitely talk about it in the comments section by yourself or with others. However, remember, I'm an onion and I stink. So whatever I do is bound to stink. And as an onion, I don't have logic. If you get upset, then all I can say is that you're getting upset with and an onion doesn't have a brain or feelings. We will have an onion breath stinker of the week. You can also nominate someone to be the breath stinker of the week. And we'll tell you how you can do that a little bit later. Each week we will have a unique question or topic for you to ponder and discuss. And more than likely, it will stink. So let's get right to the news. So let's get right to the news. Police defend shooting of white deer on streets in Bodo. Merseyside police have responded to the public criticism of their decision to shoot dead a marauding deer by saying officers was gutted to have to pull the trigger. The unusual white fallow deer was killed by police on Sunday evening after it spent 9 hours running through the Bodo town center, despite animal welfare experts urging officers to let it find its way home. The RSPC said it had advised police to leave the deer as it would make its own way back home eventually. Maryside police said an officer killed the buck to protect the motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians, and only after several attempts to tranquilize the animal failed. The force defended his decision with a senior officer saying he was proud of the officer involved. The deputy chief constable, Ian Critchley, said in a statement, I want to provide absolutely clarity around the huge efforts our staff went to save the deer that was obviously in distress and out of control on Sunday. At the heart of our decision making was, first of all, the safety of the public and the risk that a distressed deer in a built up environment presented to motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians. But also, right at the center of the decision we made was the deer itself. As such, from the outset, the aim was to sedate and move the deer safely to a rural environment. All right, so you got a deer running wild through the heart of a town, and what do? You can let the deer get back home to safety because it's probably afraid and just kind of scampering around. But as we've seen in so many videos and news reports, deer crashing into vehicles, going through storefront windows. So it could be a heck of a risk. No doubt about it. It could be a heck of a risk. But I have to side with the officers here. You know, if they spent 9 hours watching this deer run rampant through the city, and on top of that, they shot multiple tranquilizers into the deer, and it didn't stop the deer. I think they were kind of left with no other options. I don't know, maybe a 10th hour would work, letting it run around for another hour, but I kind of have to side with them. I know it stinks. I'm pretty sure we'll have protests by the deer, but I don't know. You shot the deer here after 9 hours, and there was safety precautions you were trying to take, for motorists and cyclists and pedestrians. But I don't hear too many people crying out when people go for hunting and shooting a deer. So I don't know. I'm not a hunter, but I know hunters take a lot of precautions when they do go out, and they definitely don't kill the doe. They kill the more mature deer and bucks. So let me know what you think. But I'll have to say, after 9 hours, and you shot multiple tranquilizers into the deer and couldn't get him to move on, I'm going to have to side with the Merseyside or the Merseyside police here in their response. And I understand the criticism, but I'm going to have to say they did the right thing there. Okay, let's kick off with our sports story for the week. It says disappointed Ed Orgeron speaks out. Will coach rest of LSU season receive $16.9 million buyout through 2025. LSU coach Ed Orgeron said he's disappointed, but in the end, athletic director Scott Woodard said the past 2 years have not met the standard. As a result, LSU and Ed Orgeron will have agreed to part ways after this season, 21 months after he led the Tigers to a national championship, actually a perfect season. When Woodard came to talk to me after the Kentucky game, I knew it was time, Oregon said Sunday night. The Wildcats defeated LSU 42-21 on October 9th. Orgeron said Sunday, a day after upsetting Florida 49-42, he was embarrassed after Kentucky rushed for 330 yards. He said he had no plans to coach next season, saying instead he's taking time off. Per the terms of the buyout, LSU is terminating his contract without cause. They'll pay him in the buyout $16.949 million, as reported by SportsIllustrated.com. He'll get that sum over 18 payments, starting in December and going through December of 2025. The first payment will be $5.68 million. Now, WBRZ reports, per sources, that Coach Oregon's personal life bled into his coaching life. There were multiple practices where girlfriends, per the report, would attend practices and interfere. Uh, that the women's children, would take part in the team drills. There was also one report that showed that he had stopped at a gas station and was flirting with a young lady, and the young lady happened to be a senior official of LSU's wife that he happened to be flirting with. We have very high standards for all of our sports programs at LSU, and we stand proudly behind our expectations of competing for SEC and national championships year in and year out, Woodard said in a release statement Sunday night. Our last 2 seasons have simply not met the standards based on our field results and our evaluation of the potential for future immediate success. It's time for a new direction. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take a buyout for $16 million. So I don't think Coach Ed is too bent out of shape out of it. Sometimes winning can drive you to either be hungrier to win even more, or it can make you get complacent and not be as successful as you had been. In this case, I think Coach Oregon probably got a little complacent because the LSU program for the last 2 years have not been as successful as it has been. LSU had been a kind of a juggernaut in the SEC as well as in the national landscape of football. But it also seems like Coach Ed was living a player's life. I mean, different girlfriends, not one girlfriend, said girlfriends. Kids out there taking part in the drills, girlfriends, kids. I think that's taking it a little too far. I think they made you the king, and you took it a little too far there at LSU. But hey, you're gonna get paid, and you can have all the fun you want to have. So, good luck, Coach Ed, but you are out of there at LSU. Okay, let's get down to some weather. Today's weather forecast come from Coral City, Texas, and here in the United States, located about 11 miles southwest of Denton. Coral City, Texas first began as a mobile home park before it was incorporated in 1973. Today, the town consists of a convenience store and a liquor store and contracts with the nearby city of Argyle for police, fire, and court services. In 1980, the population was 85, then it decreased to 46 in 1990, and back up to 89 in 2000, and back down to 27 in 2010. The big attraction in Coral City is its RV park, where it's a little relaxation connected to big excitement. Welcome. The weather this week will be sunny throughout the week with temperatures in the lower 80s during the day and temperatures dropping to the mid 60s at night. Shout out to Coral City, Texas for bringing us this week's Angry Onion weather forecast. All right. If you've been watching the news, you know about this one. This week's onion breath stinker is John Gruden. He is now the ex-football coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly Oakland Raiders, formerly Los Angeles Raiders. Mr. Gruden, it was discovered in a trove of emails, some inappropriate emails that he had sent. One regarding the National Football League Player Association president, where he basically said he got big lips. And big lips, big lips, big lips. And some interpreted that as a racist remark. But then he also had some remarks about uh, gays and other disparaging things that, I don't know, yes, he did it. Some it goes back as far as 10 years. Many that worked with him after he left football the first time and was in a commentator with ESPN say they had no knowledge of his actions or behavior or his thought process like that. I don't know when. I guess it's hard to say. Some people say things during a time and they change, or they're just maybe just talking. But that is not why Mr. Gruden is the onion breath stinker of the week. No, no, no. We've all said things, we've all done things uh, that if they got out, we would be ashamed of. But Mr. Gruden is the onion breath stinker of the week because he put his things in writing. Not his personal writing notes, but he sent them via email. Come on, John. You got to be smarter than that. But the things they tell you about social media and a lot of other things, they just don't disappear. Now, whether you felt comfortable sending to it in email to others, which it wasn't just some little peons, you were sending it to some pretty high up people in the NFL. But come on, man. You can't do that in an email in writing. Because people will interpret it whatever way uh, their mental models pick it up. So, John Gruden, ex football coach, you are the onion breath stinker of the week. All right. So, if you believe you have an onion breath stinker and you'd like to nominate someone, please do that. Just shoot us an email at rodtv65@gmail.com. Let us know why you're nominating that person, and we'll try to get them there. You don't have to send us a picture. You just let us know that they stink, you know. And guess what? Others may say they stink. Others may say, well, this whole process stinks. But guess what? I'm an onion, and I'm supposed to stink. All right? Okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's get to our stinker question of the week. Recap of last week's stinker question. It was, do you believe in UFOs? All right. So this week's stinker question of the week, it may predate some that may not have really or been around when the originals came out, but they're still around. So what is the question? Do weebles really wobble and not fall down? Hmm. I think the little jingle went, weebles wobble and they don't fall down. So do they really wobble and not fall down? The weebles? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Shoot us an email. Tell us all about it. Do weebles really wobble and not fall down? Well, once again, thank you for listening to and tuning in to the show, The Angry Onion. It stinks and it will continue to stink. But remember, I'm an onion. Ayo, I'm the angry onion, and everything that I do stinks. Thank you to The Angry Onion, which is a production of Rod TV 65, where reality meets the public. Rod TV 65 is a production of BBB2M Media.